minus 30, minus 31, minus
I'm
32.
sorry, Ryan. I'm sorry. I took too long the conversation.
Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Phillips and today I'm joined by Lewis Wickes. Hello Lewis.
Hello.
Hello. So you run alongside, well I say you run alongside the brand. You lead the brand SimpleDiamond.
I do indeed.
Yeah. And previously, I know you used to run TheDualCoreDude, you used to be known as that. Has that now changed into SimpleDiamond or is it a totally different kind of...
Yes. TheDualCoreDude now forms Diamond Tech, which is a channel that's going to be launching in the next few weeks.
Fantastic.
So that's going to be an interesting change.
You now have 5 seconds to do your promo that you wanted to do, if you
My
want
promo. My promo. Yeah, basically tech everywhere. All the new stuff. Next year we're going to do CES, which is going to be great. And yes, lots of diamond stuff, lots of techie stuff, lots of interesting stuff. Yeah, awesome, cool.
to. Okay, fantastic. What's SimpleDiamond, and then how it relates to you, why you started it up.
Okay, so SimpleDiamond started off, like you said, as the TheDualCoreDude, which was the first channel I ran. I got a little bit tired of the TheDualCoreDude as a name, as it was kind of childish. It was old, because of course we're now not using dual core processors. We're like quad core, octa core. We're just going everywhere with all these cores, and I just felt a bit out of date with that. So I come up with the name SimpleDiamond for a DeviantArt account, which was something that I was really interested in at the time. But I thought it'd be great to add that sort of branding into my YouTube channel. So at that time, I thought I'd just take the branding over and make it into a new tech channel called SimpleDiamond, where we do lots of tech stuff. And I thought I'd bring some of the design stuff that I'd done at DeviantArt and have like a design section to the channel. So that was how SimpleDiamond started. But then I decided that I wanted to take it further. I wanted to do some cooking videos. I wanted to do more dedicated design videos.
Are you a good cook?
I wanted to do coding. I wanted to do all sorts of stuff. So now SimpleDiamond is starting to move out into a wider network full of smaller kind of channels that have different content on. I'm going to start bringing new people in and start making lots of awesome content. So that's basically what SimpleDiamond is. It's a massive network of creative content.
You said about that you also do like things like cooking as well as tech.
Yeah.
So what's the series called?
The new series for cooking is called Kitchen Noob. The idea
does that hint at that you're not very good at cooking?
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Kitchen Noob is called so because I have never done any cooking before. Well, I hadn't at the time, and I was a bit of a noob in the kitchen. So I wanted to show that in the title of the videos of the series. So yeah, the whole series is me going from kitchen noob to, well, I'm still a kitchen noob. So until I'm no longer a kitchen noob, and then the series will turn into something different.
So what kind of things have you been cooking so far then?
So far, I've cooked mince pies, which is an episode that was meant to be released at Christmas, but because of my poor planning, it wasn't. I've cooked millionaire shortbread, which was really interesting. I had a bit of criticism on that video for the different kind of styling of the video, and then I did I can't remember what I did the first. I did pesto and pasta, which was very newbie, and I've had lots of criticism on that, especially from some of my cooking friends who have said I could at least have made the pesto. But I didn't. It was out of a jar, and people did like the styling of that video. So the mince pies one is a bit of a mix between the two, professional content with some kind of behind the scenes going on.
What would you say is your favourite video that you've made? All your time of making videos.
You know what? My favourite video to make was one where I made a clever shoe design in Photoshop where there's some splashes coming in and it looks like the shoe is made out of paint.
Yeah.
It took me a very long amount of time to do, and unfortunately it is still one of my highest viewed videos ever. and I think last month I got a couple thousand views on it, even though it's like from 2012.
Wow.
The video quality, however, is not fantastic. Definitely the audio quality is not very good indeed. And I'm thinking of redoing that video, but it did take a lot of time. It took me about 2 hours, and the whole video is about half an hour. So yeah, it was really good to do, and it's still appreciated, but the quality is just not my favourite.
Well, that's the main thing. What's good with most YouTube channels is once they've progressed a lot, you can then look back at their first video and see, oh look, this person's gone from this, they've developed, improved, right up to this latest video.
Yeah.
So at least it'll be good for you to then look back and say, oh look, I can physically see myself improve and develop each part of my channel and the content. Who's your favourite YouTuber?
Who is my favourite YouTuber? Oh, that's an interesting question. I'd say my favourite YouTuber is... I'm trying to think. I watch them all the time. I can't remember what they're called.
Oh, wow.
That's...
a loyal fan.
Actually, no, you know what? No, my favourite YouTuber is... well, my favourite channel on YouTube, because there's lots of creators on it, is Linus Tech Tips, because I like how their content is laid out, and I like how they have a kind of personal yet professional outlook on things. They do some fun stuff, and they do good reviews of good tech stuff, but also it's got that kind of flair of a personal feel to it.
Yeah.
And I think that gives it makes me as a viewer settle into their content, as I don't feel it's too uptight, but then I can get a serious opinion from someone who seriously knows about what they're talking about, and I feel relaxed in getting that opinion. I don't feel uptight. I don't feel like this is just the facts, boom boom boom. I feel like this is the facts, and this is why I feel like that. It gives me a kind of a connection with their content.
Is there anything that you've learned from them that you've then thought, okay, I'm going to...
I've learned a lot of stuff from them. I think the first thing that really showed out to me when I looked at their content was how they have good positioned lighting, but also in some videos they would go outside and use the natural sunlight as a more of a universal, more natural light to their videos. So I started doing more videos outside, and I'd use rooms that have bigger windows rather than using the rooms I'd been using at the time. Like my bedroom doesn't normally have sunlight in the afternoons, is when I'm going to be recording videos. So I started doing like the kitchen noob stuff, which was in the kitchen. The sun actually is in that direction when it's in the afternoon. So I used that room, and that was one of the things that inspired me to do the kitchen stuff, because I thought the kitchen's an excellent room to be doing stuff. Why don't I do some cooking? So that's one of the things that I learned from that channel. I've learned loads of stuff, but I just can't think of what they are.
Okay.
That's one of the big ones. Yeah.
I've managed to find how many subscribers you have. Now, do you want to take a guess before I reveal to everyone and to remind you? How many do you think?
How many do I think?
Yes. Don't get cheated now.
No, I won't cheat. How many do I think? Well, I'd say 302.
Ooh, you have 325.
25?
Yeah.
Wow.
As well as you've got altogether your channel views together are 27,954.
That's impressive.
Yeah. You've done well to do that, definitely.
I remember looking back last week, and I had 302, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a considerable growth over a week.
Yeah, definitely. Now, why did you decide to start a career on YouTube?
Why did I start a career in YouTube? I'm going to be honest. My inspiration was Charlie McDonald, or as he's better known on the internet, Charlie Is So Cool Like, because he had really engaging content at the time. He was in a similar position to how I was at the time. He's quite a bit older than me by a considerable amount of years.
Yeah.
But I could relate to his content. his content was fun.
Good.
It wasn't too professional at the time, but professional enough that I could relate to it and appreciate the content. And I really wanted to make content like he was making. I wanted to be fun. I wanted people to recognize what I could show the world. And I also thought his content would be great if he was in the line of tech, because similarly to how I've now discovered Linus Tech Tips, he would have probably done that sort of thing for tech. So I thought maybe I could be like Charlie and make tech stuff instead of all the vlog stuff. Of course, I didn't know at the time that I'd go into the line of vlogs as well. So there you go, something I learned.
To do that, to go on to start doing vlogs.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. To be honest, ever since I started in, I think it was late 2012 that I started. I started my YouTube channel in 2011, and then I made my first video in December 2012. And ever since I made the first video, I started getting more involved in YouTube. Before it was just Charlie I was watching and a couple other people. I wasn't really interested in the YouTube scene.
Yeah.
But as soon as I started seeing other people and how they were doing vlogs, not just sitting in front of the camera statically, but doing vlogs like on the move, showing their day, that just opened my eyes up to, I can do that. I don't have to be sitting in front of a camera having like a subscripted thing where I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. I have to have something really engaging to show the audience. Instead, I can just show them what I'm doing. I don't have to put any effort in as much as just making something up. I can just show them how my day is going.
Do you find that your audience do like the kind of natural side then, the sort of unedited real life?
I think so. I appreciate it myself. The kind of unedited, this is what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to see that, especially if you're doing more professional content. You want to. I think you need to let your audience see that you're not just, this is the facts. This is what I do, and more like, this is what I do when I'm doing serious content, but also I have all this other stuff going on, and I'm not just here to do YouTube videos. I am here doing other stuff. So I think it's important to do that, and I think it's fun to do that as well, and to see people in that sort of situation as well.
I've already revealed or reminded you how many are subscribed to you.
Yeah.
How many different people are you subscribed to on YouTube?
How many different people am I subscribed to YouTube? I can tell you for a fact I'm subscribed to more than 99 people, because on my subscriptions it goes 99 plus. I am not entirely sure the exact number, but I'd say it was within the 200 to 250 range.
Really? So after Lewis has sorted his microphone out now,
yes.
Noob,
Sorry.
A series called Kitchen Noob. You need to start a new series called Tech Noob.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Lewis.
Yes.
Have you got any celebrity crushes?
Have I got any celebrity crushes?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Reveal.
Carrie Gillan.
Oh, is she the one that I think's really old, but she's not actually really old?
Yes. Yes.
It was already at that time.
That one time, yes.
Okay.
And also Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
And also big one.
What?
Big one.
What?
No, a big one. Not.
Sorry.
Sorry. Ariana Grande is my big one.
Oh.
That's a massive one. That's like number one. If you ask anybody that really knows me, they will. Number one, that's the one they'll name.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That tells me a lot about you, Ryan.
You spend most of your day when you're not at home on your phone.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's correct.
Do you have a favourite app?
Do I have a favourite app?
Yeah.
I'd have to say my favourite app is the YouTube app, because I spend almost all my time on that. And if I'm going to expand on that certain point, I like what they've done with the updation. The updation is not really a word, but
yeah, is that with Android where they've it's all ready now?
yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I saw on my mum's because
and
they
it's
haven't done that to iOS.
It's fantastic. There's a certain thing I have a complaint about. When you go on someone's YouTube channel now, the top bar changes to a colour that best represents their channel. So if you go on mine, it's like the colour that I used to have my logo, which is like a nice light blue. It's great. It looks really, really nice.
Okay.
But I don't know how quite they're getting that colour. I think I figured it out in the fact that it's not the most prominent colour, but like the second most prominent colour. So it's not like the background colour. It's like something that's not the biggest, but the one underneath that. So for mine, it was the logo, because that was not white, but it's that blue. But some people's channels you go on, they'll have like lots of black, and then I have a bit of brown, and it's like a really crappy brown on top of their thing, and it looks terrible. So I think what they should do is let you select what colour it pops up to, but they haven't done that at the moment. So you go on some people's channels and it's just utterly the wrong colour.
Let's hope YouTube are listening.
Yes, let's hope YouTube, if you're listening, which you should do, because I'm like the best creator on YouTube.
Okay then, would you say that you have any regrets?
Regrets, full stop.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think I do. Because I know this sounds like thing and people do this all the time, but the things that I did have meant that I'm where I am today.
Yeah.
And where I am today, I'm quite happy with. I mean, of course, there is things that I'd like to change, but as a whole, no, I keep hitting the microphone.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
That's not a good idea.
No.
As a whole, everything is okay. I could be in a worse place. I think if my life was a bit different and there was lots of like bad things going on, then I might have some regrets. But as I am standing, and most people, I believe, should not have any regrets, because you know, if they change even a little thing, their life could be massively different and a lot worse, or not as good as it is now. So yeah, regrets, I don't really have any. I don't think I can name anything that I'd really nail out.
That's fantastic. Definitely think, because you've mentioned about where, because I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So the reason that if you're happy with the way you are now, then you said that you probably got a few things that you could have done. You could go back and carry them out better.
Yeah.
But again, it's made who you are now.
Yeah. I could have changed something. I mean, even the bad things that I've made bad decisions before. Lots of bad decisions I can name. But if I'd made a slight better decision on that, it could have ended up with me being in a completely different place. And that doesn't always mean that the end result would have been even better than now. It could be worse than now. I could have gone in a different direction, and that could have led me into a worse path. So yeah, I'm happy with where I am, and I don't have any regrets as such. This is a big point, and I'm going completely off on a tangent now. But I brought this up with my mom the other day. When people used to say that older people are really wise, I didn't used to get that. I used to think, well, what makes them wise? They're only getting older. I mean, what could they possibly have learned that's any better than what I know? So I didn't used to get how people were wise when they got older. But even in the past 2 years, for me, I've learned little things that mean that now I am much more wiser than I was 2 years ago, and I've learned lots of little things that I didn't know then. And I've learned things about relationships and how you've got to handle different relationships. I've learned stuff about general life, how to hold a conversation and not bring up things that could possibly cause conflict. I've learned all sorts of things, and you're smiling because you know some of them. But them little things have made me what people would say old people are much wiser. And I have no doubts that in the coming years I'm going to learn more things that are going to make me even wiser. So
relating to it, it's also important as well when people have probably been through a similar situation. They can give you advice then and say, okay, this is what happened to me, I think you should do this, or I'd suggest you do that.
Yeah.
So, talking of advice, what advice would you give to our viewers?
What would I give advice? Can't speak. I think everybody can apply this piece of advice that I'm going to say now to anything. This is a piece of advice that I got given a couple of days ago, and it is to follow your heart and not your mind. Things can seem logical, and it can seem like a logical decision to make a certain decision, but I think that looking back on my life and looking forwards, if you follow what you really want to do and not just what seems logically sound, then you're going to lead yourself, I believe, into a place that you're going to be much happier with in the long run. And when you look back on it, you're going to think, yes, that was the right decision to make. Because you could end up in a logical place where, like, it'll be better money to go into this job. It will be a much better experience with people that are like-minded. You could think of all logical factors to do with one thing, and then your heart might go, you know what though, I really want to do this, and it's not going to get me as much money, it's not going to lead me to a place where people are going to accept me better, or I'm going to be famous, or I'm going to be this, that and the other. But you're going to be much happier doing the thing that you really, really want to do. And I think in YouTube, if putting that to YouTube, don't just do whatever you think is going to get you more views, more subscribers, that sort of thing. Do the thing that you really want to do. And if people like that content and accept what you're doing, you'll get the views, you'll get the subscribers, and you'll get everything that you really want to get from YouTube. There's no point doing something for the subscribers or for the views. Just do something that you really, really, really want to do. And people will find your content and they'll like your content. And if they don't like your content, then they don't belong on your channel.
Do you have a favourite quote?
A favourite quote? I do, and I have it on a piece of paper. I just can't find that piece of paper. Okay, this one's quite a bit longer than the one I have on the piece of paper.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a quote from Steve Jobs, who is definitely one of my favourite people of all time. It says, "You've got to find what you love, and that is true for your work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work." There you go.
Great. I haven't heard of that. I was thinking when he said it was by Steve Jobs, I was thinking of the one that, have you heard about where he's lived like past 30 years, he's looked back and basically thought, okay, the one piece of advice he would say, if he's woken up too many mornings in a row thinking, oh, I don't want to do what I'm going to be doing today, to change it and to stop doing what you don't want to do. That
is probably up there with my top 3.
I'd say the only bad point about that, though, that quote, the 30 years one, is that there's some things that you've really got to do in life. You might not like them, but it's like, for example, you might be at school and you think, okay, this is boring, but you're going to get something good out of it.
Exactly, and that's why it's not my number one, because trying to put that to my life. I don't particularly enjoy college as a huge part of my life, but if I was to go and apply that quote to my life, I would have quit college. I would have led myself into a massive path of I wouldn't get anywhere. I wouldn't have any qualifications. I wouldn't be in a good place. And sometimes you've got to do things to get to a place where you can apply that knowledge.
I think, I mean, as you say, that's once you've passed your education, you've got a job. You can think, okay.
Because if you apply that to your job and you're not enjoying your job, then it's all right to leave your job and go and get a job that you're going to enjoy. But with your education, it's a completely different story.
It's true.
You've got to do your education to be able to get the qualifications you're going to need to get a decent job. That's why it's not my number one. But definitely with the quote that I've just said, it follows very much on the piece of advice that I just gave. Do what you love, do the things that you enjoy, and you're going to end up somewhere that you really are happy in doing it, and not just there for views, for money, for becoming famous, for any of these things that aren't going to really enhance your life if you're not enjoying it.
So Lewis, thank you very much. Now we're going to end on the quick fire round. Okay.
Quick fire. Flipping heck, I'm panicked already.
So I'll give you, each of them will be a question, and within the question you've got two options, and you basically have to state an option. Twitter or Facebook?
Twitter.
Android or iOS?
iOS.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Introvert or extrovert?
Introvert.
Money or fame?
Money.
Pen and pad or PC?
PC.
Adventurous or cautious?
Adventurous.
Saver or spender?
Saver.
Think before you talk or talk before you think?
Talk before I think.
Okay. Now the interesting one I got out of there is where you said iOS when I said Android or iOS, because you've actually got an Android, haven't you?
I have, yes. I thought you would bring this up.
Yeah.
Yes. I have this conversation quite a lot, especially with my dad, who has an iPhone and is in the iOS market, and also I have this conversation with myself quite a lot.
Yeah.
I chose Android when I was picking my latest smartphone because I like the open platform. I like the fact that I can customize it exactly how I want. I like the fact that there's a larger range of apps that can allow you to do things to your phone that the manufacturer didn't intend for you to do with your phone. I like the modifications you can add to it. You can add custom software to it. You can do all sorts of open things, lots of interesting things that are normally locked down in iOS and with the Apple ecosystem. However, in saying that, I really do love that iOS devices just work. You don't have any complicated stuff that are laid over the top. With my phone, I have to unlock it, type in the passcode, then find the correct app, and then I have to calibrate options every time I want to change something. There's lots of deep details on top of everything that mean it's slightly slower in me doing certain tasks that are really essential for using my phone. With iOS, you can just get stuff done. There's no complicated options that you've configured that make it slower if you want to do something over another thing. It just works, and I think that's why iOS. When I get my new phone, I'm considering getting an iPhone because it just works. I can use the stuff that I want to, and then maybe buy a secondary device with Android for all them things that I want to customize on top of it. But I think customizability with Android comes at the sacrifice of just simple, it works, I can get stuff done.
Great.
So that's why I prefer iOS over Android at this current point in time for using, especially with phone. I think with tablet I would have a more Android approach to it, as it's not there just get stuff done, do phone calls, do emails. It's more, you have more time when you sit down with the tablet. It's not necessarily work. I mean, you can use them for work, but it's not time critical when you need to make a phone call or something.
Okay.
So yeah, iOS over Android at this current moment in time.
So thank you very much, Lewis. Have you enjoyed yourself?
I have very much enjoyed myself.
Well, it's been a big palaver, hasn't it? We've been here for like almost 2 hours.
Yes. It's technical issues have ensued. I've turned green. We have had stream issues. We've had problems with the microphone. We've had problems with me, mainly me.
I was going to say, were there any issues with my end?
No, there wasn't. No.
Okay, so if you want to check Lewis out and his brand, SimpleDiamond, go and visit his website, SimpleDiamond.co.uk. You can also follow him on Twitter, twitter.com/Lewis Wickes.
Yes.
Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please click like and please comment below about what you think of this video in particular, the whole interview, or the website, whatever you want. I value your feedback, good or bad. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye.